G'day friends and folks, today I thought I'd talk about something a little bit different on this channel. I obviously like Dragon Ball Z, right? I base my whole channel around it. That's pretty much the main thing that I'm really into. But another thing that I really like that is pretty much on par with Dragon Ball Z is gaming. And there have been plenty of good quality Dragon Ball Z games throughout the years. I'm not denying that, I'm not saying there hasn't been. However, I do think that the standard of Dragon Ball Z games could be a lot higher. In my honest opinion, there's only been a handful of Dragon Ball Z games that I've put hours upon hours into throughout my time playing them. So what is the perfect Dragon Ball Z game, and could it ever be made? And I'm gonna say right now, yes, it can be made. And I feel like a lot of people are just going to automatically default by saying Dragon Ball Xenoverse is the perfect Dragon Ball Z game. And considering Dragon Ball Xenoverse is still a fairly new game, a lot of people are still playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and that's really good for them. However, for me, and I feel like for a lot of other people too, Dragon Ball Xenoverse is a good game. But it's not the type of game that you're going to keep going back to over and over and over. Once you finish the story, I don't think you're ever going to play it again. You'll maybe play it once or twice with a new character or with a new build, but it's not the type of game that brings you back once you've finished the main campaign, or at least it didn't for me. And I feel like that is where the perfect Dragon Ball Z game lies. While Dragon Ball Xenoverse was a fantastic game within itself, the replay value simply was not there. And if we are ever going to have the perfect Dragon Ball Z game, we're going to want to play it every single day. And admittedly, that is how Dragon Ball Xenoverse was for the first few weeks. And I'm going to say it right now, the best Dragon Ball Z game that I've played to date was not Budokai Tenkaichi 3, it was not Budokai 3, it wasn't even Burst Limit. The Dragon Ball Z game that I put the most hours into was in fact Dragon Ball Z The Legacy of Goku. The Legacy of Goku series was absolutely phenomenal. As a series, I put over 50 hours into it, and I can safely say that's the most amount of hours I've put in a Dragon Ball Z game. But still, is it the perfect Dragon Ball Z game? And sadly, the answer is no. Believe me when I say, if we ever get the perfect Dragon Ball Z game, it will come in the form of an RPG. Sure, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was amazing. In fact, it's probably my second favorite Dragon Ball Z game. The amount of characters and the amount of maps in that game were absolutely amazing. But we've had Dragon Ball Z games like that time and time again, and that is where I have to praise Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Its RPG elements were done very, very well, and that is part of the reason I feel like it's such a successful game, and it's going to be one of the highest selling Dragon Ball Z games. But look at some of the most successful games today. A majority of them are open world games. Now, I'm not saying I want Dragon Ball Z to become GTA DBZ, but take The Witcher 3, a game that was recently released. That game is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I'm not here to talk about The Witcher 3, I'm here to talk about Dragon Ball Z. However, I feel like the perfect Dragon Ball Z game would not be just a straight up fighting game like Budokai. While those games are appealing to some, I feel like the overall perfect Dragon Ball Z game would come in an open world RPG. Just imagine, you create your character, you are put in this Dragon Ball universe. You have this massive world to explore, yet you don't even know how to fly. That's something that you must master within the game. As you level up, your character becomes more and more powerful. Let's say you start off with a power level of 5, but have the potential to become the strongest in all of Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse, for me, did that a little bit. Honestly, I know it's seeming like I want something that is more or less like Skyrim or The Witcher, but to tell you the truth, that is what I want. You know, if I wanted to play a fighting game, I would go on ahead and play Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 or Raging Blast, because we have had countless Dragon Ball Z games that more or less have the same concept towards them. And I respect Xenoverse for what it was trying to do, and I feel like it did it to an extent. However, it needs to get heavily expanded upon if people are going to enjoy it as much as they enjoy Dragon Ball Z in general. But I feel like I could talk about this for hours upon hours, and if you guys want me to, I will expand upon this in the future and maybe make a separate video. Anyway guys, I've been talking non-stop for about 4 minutes now, so I really want to know your guys' perfect Dragon Ball Z game. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? This is mainly for fun. I really hope that a Dragon Ball Z game similar to Legacy of Goku is made, or similar to The Witcher or Skyrim is made. I feel like that would be absolutely amazing. I'd put my entire life into that game if it was. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I will see you in the next Dragon Ball Z video.